Although the late queen was a woman of duty, she was still a mum at heart, and the late monarch welcomed 4 children with her late husband, Prince Philip. Together, the pair had King Charles, Princess Anne, Prince Andrew and Prince Edward. Please, before continuing, kindly subscribe, like, comment and click on the notification bell. Charles and Anne were born before their mother ascended to the throne, whereas Andrew and Edward were both born during the Second Elizabethan era. The Queen had distinct relationships with each of her children, but how much do you know about her royal brood? Born on the 14th of November 1948, Charles was born in the Bull Room of Buckingham Palace, with the Queen having a cesarean section following a 30-hour labor. As is custom for a royal birth, the King's Troop Royal Artillery fired a 41-gun salute, the bells of Westminster Abbey rang and crowds flocked to the palace to celebrate the happy news. A young Charles broke precedents when he became the first heir to the throne to attend school as opposed to having a private tutor. The royal studied at several schools, including Hill House School in Knightsbridge, Cheam Preparatory School in Hampshire and Gordonston in Scotland. He graduated from Trinity College, Cambridge with a 2:2 after studying archaeology, anthropology and history. After his time in education, Charles joined the military, serving in the RAF and the Royal Navy. In his final months of active service, the monarch served as commander of the HMS Bronington, a coastal minehunter. He retired from active service in 1976. During his royal service, Charles has become known as a keen environmentalist, and he has taken a keen interest in life opportunities for young people, founding the Prince's Trust, which supports those aged between 11 to 30 who are facing issues such as homelessness, unemployment or mental health. In 1977, Charles met Diana Spencer while at her family home of Althorpe. However, the couple didn't begin dating until 1980, with the future king proposing to Diana in February 1981. The couple walked down the aisle on the 29th of July 1981, and together they welcomed sons Prince William and Prince Harry, who were born in 1982 and 1984 respectively. Through William and Harry, Charles is also a grandfather to Prince George, 10, Princess Charlotte, 8, Prince Louis, 5, Prince Archie, 4 and Princess Lilibet, 2. However, behind closed doors Charles and Diana frequently clashed and had extramarital affairs, with Charles often spending time with Camilla Shand, leading to Diana to famously say in a BBC Panorama interview that there were 3 of us in her marriage. Charles and Diana eventually divorced on the 28th of August 1996 after separating in 1992. Charles and Camilla quietly became an item following the end of his marriage to Diana, with the pair marrying each other in a civil ceremony at the Windsor Guildhall on the 9th of April 2005. The late Queen did not attend the wedding. It's believed this was due to her role as the Supreme Governor of the Church of England, that did not allow a divorced couple to marry someone different. Following the late Queen's death on the 8th of September 2022, Charles acceded to the throne. The monarch led the nation in mourning his mother. On the 8th of May 2023, his coronation was held, and the service reflected his hopes to show the diverse nation that Britain had become. On the 5th of February 2024, it was announced that Charles had been diagnosed with a form of cancer after he'd been in hospital to treat an enlarged prostate. In a statement, the palace said, "During the King's recent hospital procedure for benign prostate enlargement, a separate issue of concern was noted. Subsequent diagnostic tests have identified a form of cancer. His Majesty has today commenced a schedule of regular treatments, during which time he has been advised by doctors to postpone public-facing duties. Throughout this period, His Majesty will continue to undertake state business and official paperwork as usual." The statement continued, "The King is grateful to his medical team for their swift intervention, which was made possible thanks to his recent hospital procedure about his treatment, and looks forward to returning to full public duty as soon as possible." Born on the 15th of August 1950, Princess Anne was the only one of the late Queen's children to be born outside of Buckingham Palace, with the Princess Royal arriving in Clarence House. This was due to Buckingham Palace being refurbished at the time. Anne studied at Benenden School from 1963 to 1968, with the Royal leaving the school with 6 GCEO levels and 2 A levels. Before her education, the first Buckingham Palace Company Girl Guides was reformed, allowing the young princess to socialize with girls her own age. Unlike her siblings, Anne never served in the military. However, the royal found a different venture, equestrianism. In 1971, The Princess Royal won the individual title at the European Championships alongside her horse Doublet, and she was even named BBC Sports Personality of the Year. The Royal even competed at the 1976 Olympic Games. However, she fell from horse Goodwill, and although she remounted, she suffered a concussion. In 1974, Anne was almost kidnapped outside of Buckingham Palace by Ian Ball, who intended to hold her to ransom for between £2 million or £3 million, which he claimed he would donate to the NHS. Anne's personal security officer and chauffeur were shot in the attempt, as was tabloid journalist Brian McConnell when he attempted to intervene, although all three survived. Anne exited her car with her lady-in-waiting, Rowena Brassey, and the pair were rescued by boxer Ron Russell, who punched Ian and escorted the women to safety. In 1968, the Royal met Captain Mark Phillips at an event for horse lovers, with the pair falling for each other. The couple's engagement was announced on the 29th of May 1973, with the pair marrying on the 14th of November 1973. Mark turned down the earldom that was offered to him, and when the pair welcomed their children, Peter Phillips and Zara Phillips, in 1977 and 1981 respectively, they opted not to use royal titles for them. Anne and Mark have since become grandparents, with Peter welcoming daughters Savannah and Isla in 2010 and 2012 respectively. Meanwhile, Zara is a mum to daughters Mia, 10, and Lena, 5, alongside son Lucas, 2. On the 31st of August 1989, it was announced that Anne and Mark would be separating, with the pair divorcing on the 23rd of April 1992. Anne soon found love again with Naval Commander Timothy Lawrence, with the pair first meeting on the royal yacht, Britannica. The pair married on the 12th of December 1992 at Crathy Kirk. Anne has played major roles following the late Queen's death, with the Princess Royal accompanying her mother's coffin back to Buckingham Palace. Anne also served as gold stick-in-waiting at the King's coronation, a role which oversees the monarch's personal safety. Anne was finally made a Councillor of State on the 7th of December 2022, a role which is usually dictated in order of lineage to the throne. Andrew was born on the 19th of February 1960 in the Belgian suite of Buckingham Palace. Like his father and older brother, Andrew attended Gordonston in Scotland, but before this he studied at Heatherdown School in Berkshire. The Duke of York left school with A-levels in English, history and economics. Andrew joined the military after leaving education, joining the Royal Navy in 1979. During his time in the military he became the only one of the late Queen's children to serve in active combat, with the Royal fighting in the Falklands War. The Duke served on the HMS Invincible, and he served as a helicopter pilot with missions as varied as anti-submarine warfare, search and rescue missions, and even serving as a decoy for missiles. Andrew retired from active service in 2001. In 1986, Andrew walked down the aisle with Sarah Ferguson, who he had known since childhood, and the pair welcomed daughters Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie in 1988 and 1990 respectively. Andrew and Sarah are also grandparents, with Beatrice giving birth to daughter Sienna on the 18th of September 2021, while Eugenie is a mum to sons August, 3, and Ernest, 8 months. On the 19th of March 1992, Andrew and Sarah announced their intention to separate, with the pair formally divorcing on the 30th of May 1996. Despite their split, the former couple remain close and even live together at Royal Lodge, where they look after the late Queen's beloved corgis. Andrew has been in a storm of sexual allegations over the past few years due to his friendship with the late Jeffrey Epstein, who was convicted of sexual trafficking. The allegations, which the royal completely denies, have seen Andrew retreat out of public life, with his late mother stripping him of some of his royal titles, while charities that used to be linked to the Duke have removed their support from him. The Queen's youngest child was born the 10th of March 1964, and his birth was the only one that Prince Philip was present at. Edward initially studied at Collingham College in Kensington before following in Andrew's footsteps and attending Heatherdown and Gordonston. The royal didn't get great results from his studies, but he was still admitted to Jesus College, Cambridge, where he left with a BA after studying history. Edward joined the Royal Marines in 1986 after graduating from Cambridge, but he dropped out of his training in January 1987, with the royal saying that he didn't intend for the military to become his long-term career. Instead, the royal pursued a career in the entertainment industry, working as a production assistant. In 1993, Edward founded Ardent, with the company mainly focusing on producing documentaries and dramas, including a documentary on Edward's late great-uncle, King Edward VIII, who abdicated the throne in 1936. In 2001, a two-man crew from Ardent allegedly attempted to film Prince William when he was studying at St. Andrews. Edward stepped down months later, citing a desire to concentrate on his public duties and to support the Queen during her Golden Jubilee celebrations. In 1987, Edward met Sophie Rhys-Jones, although the pair didn't start a romance until 1993. Edward proposed to his wife in 1998, with the engagement confirmed in January 1999. The duo walked down the aisle on the 19th of June 1999 and have gone on to welcome two children, Lady Louise Windsor, 20, and James, Earl of Wessex, 16. Edward was initially styled as the Earl of Wessex. However, following the death of his parents and on his 59th birthday, King Charles bestowed upon him and Sophie the title of the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh. Please guys, do drop your thoughts in the comment box about any one of them.